2024 has been the year of women's sports. Caitlin Clark's popularity boom has ushered in a new reality where the women's Final Four and the WNBA is now a featured discussion topic in the mainstream sports media, and it makes money. Television ratings, in-game audiences have all skyrocketed for Clark's games, and alongside it, everything else in women's sports has now reached the forefront as well. Angel Reese and other WNBA stars are household names. The retirement of Alex Morgan from the U.S. women's national team in professional soccer was massive news. The biggest names of the Olympics, Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, and others, were women. And the Solheim Cup just experienced its own burst of popularity. The international competition featuring the stars of the LPGA Tour doubled its TV ratings from the last tournament, and the coverage was overwhelmingly positive. A thrilling win by Team USA attracted headlines like, "The LPGA deserves all eyes on women's golf after a terrific Solheim Cup." And Solheim Cup was phenomenal golf from start to finish. So let's dive into this with someone who has boots on the ground and is at the epicenter of tapping into this burgeoning marketplace. Dre Le Mesurier is the Senior Director, Global Head of Brand and Creative at Skyscanner, which is a search engine for all types of travel. Now, they're presenting sponsors of the Solheim Cup, and Dre is responsible for energizing an audience of fans at a huge sporting event and telling the stories of these female athletes as they enjoy this burst of influence and notoriety. So how is this moment in time different, and how does this all intersect with the culture at large? Let's listen to Dre.
Women's sports is growing 40% faster than general sports, aka that Caitlin Clark effect is kicking in on multiple different fronts. Revenue generated by women's elite sports projected to surpass $1 billion for the first time in 2024. And things like golf enthusiasts, they spend 2.5 times more on travel than any other sports segment. So we look at alignment of not only values, but what's really going to drive benefit for the business as well. At the end of the day, I have to make my CMO, my CFO, my CEO as happy as we will be in terms of like creating compelling, engaging content. You have to move the metrics for the business for obvious reasons. So yeah, a lot of times it's just strategic alignment and understanding whether that's a fit or not. And then off the back of that, do you have partners who are in it to win it together? So we worked really closely with IMG, which were fantastic in the creation of the series itself. So that was really good. And that led to a lot of work that, I'm really proud of. And then we were also partnered up with the Women's Sports Media, which is a UK-based agency who specializes in women's sports marketing. Both just fantastic partners who know how to run quick and stay nimble. And that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, one of the cool things that I've seen working in the industry for more than 20 years is now there's a real embracing of women's sports on a totally national level. I think that all of the audience recognizes after years of watching dominance in women's college basketball, I think tennis, as you had mentioned, LPGA, things like the WNBA, man, they are now front and center, just like the men. Is that one of the reasons that it was exciting for Skyscanner and yourself to be involved with the Solheim Cup?
Yeah, definitely. This partnership and supporting women's sports globally is highly aligned with the values that the Skyscanner brand has around diversity and inclusion, most definitely. I would also say I'm a huge advocate of women's sport. I've got two young girls who are both into sport. And I love sport and everything that it represents. You talk about values around like teamwork, collaboration, hard work, constantly look to improve, attention to detail. All those things, are near and dear to my heart and the brands as well in a lot of ways. It also is, not only on top of like shared brand values and the alignment there, as you said, women's sport is having such a moment right now, and I'm so happy to see it. And I think it's only going to continue. What we would say is like the Caitlin Clark effect, but you see that on many different platitudes and levels, right? Women's tennis has been firing for a long, long time. At the Olympics, some of the most exciting events were, female-based, right? Like Simone Biles and the story of the comeback, but also just watching like girls skateboarding. I was just like, oh my God, like it's so next level in so many ways. And golf with at the Solheim has always been, the pinnacle of women's golf. It's such a huge moment where I think everybody wins and sport globally wins and teamwork shines. So for us as a brand and as a business, the alignment's there. And then on the business side of things, it's such great value for money. Like the brand and the business, we get so much bang for our buck with the sport. And as we said about, it's on the rise in so many different ways. So there's just so many reasons to be excited about it.
In terms of witnessing the women on the ground in the competition, what was that like to be elbow to elbow with high-level global competitors?
Oh my God. So I got this really interesting moment when we went to go and scout the location at Robert Trent Jones to sit down and do an interview with Stacey and Suzanne at Robert Trent Jones, as I said. And part of that was a team bonding exercise with Team Europe, where they did a scavenger hunt around DC. And that was just a really interesting moment to walk around with players who were just human beings getting to know each other. And it was fun. It was frivolous. It was, let loose. And, I play sports. I play ice hockey, and the banter and stuff like that, probably not safe for work, but amazing. They were just women being women, having fun, right? And then the transition of them being in that mindset to then stepping on the golf course and just like a mindset shift, it was just unbelievable to watch and how good they are. Like, you have to go and watch them in person to see them strike a ball. There's this moment where I was watching them on the course, and two of them had hit golf balls on 15, and there's a bunch of water to the left. It's a scary hole, a small green. Both of them are about 240 out. They pull 3 woods out and stick it within 5 to 7 feet of the hole with 3 woods on not a soft landing either. And I was just like, wow, oh my God. The other story I'll tell too is, if you haven't been to the Solheim Cup, it's very much like Ryder Cup. Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, it is a spectacle. It is unbelievable. You're essentially like in a coliseum of crazy raucous fans. It's like Waste Management meets, like it's insane, and it's very loud. And I mean, if I had to step into that scenario and like put a ball down and knock one out, I'd probably put one off somebody's face in the crowd. Like, you know what I mean? Like the level of pressure that you must feel, where you've got thousands of fans standing there watching you, you're on live TV, and they just crush the ball down the middle for the most part. And I don't know how they don't let the nerves affect you, but that's just a testament to how amazing they are.
Feels like in 2024, everybody is their own individual brand, especially if you're in the media or you're on social media. You're trying to build recognition. Brands are also trying to figure out what's the best way to leverage individuals. Is it influencers? Is it paying for a commercial? Is it social media? So as somebody that works with big brands, has worked his entire career with big brands and trying to figure out the best integration, what are some of the lessons that you've learned over the years? And then an event like this, what worked really well for you guys at Skyscanner?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's an alignment of values with the partner that you're getting into bed with, essentially. And we say partner because that's essentially what we're looking for. We're looking for like-minded values, the want and need to swing big and do something interesting, to be scrappy and to run together, and to do something that is going to stand out. And we got that in working with Solheim, LET, and LPGA. That's probably the first and foremost thing is, can you create great work together? And are you just going to put logo on a jersey, or are you actually going to create something compelling together?
You guys have done, the Solheim Cup has been in a lot of incredible international cities. And I think DC is one of the great cities to visit, one of the great cities to explore. The museums, the history, the heritage, the American culture that's there is just, to me, incredible. How was DC and the greater DC area as a host city for the Solheim Cup?
Amazing. I mean, to have not won for the U.S. since 2017, and not only to come back to America, but come back to the nation's capital, was like, you couldn't have written it any better, I don't think. And then you've got, Obama showing up, in front of the crowds, which adds, another level of excitement and interest on top of that. I mean, it was a kind of like a fairy tale moment. And I got to be honest, like, a lot of me, you can see the Queen behind me here in an image. Like, I live in London. I've been in Europe for quite a while. I spent a lot of time in the US, but part of me was rooting for Europe just because of the relationships we made with Suzanne and the team. But I'm glad that the US won. I'm glad that they pulled it through there. It feels like it's going to be better for the game of golf, better for Solheim, make more of a compelling storyline as the Solheim Cup goes to the Netherlands in 2026, which is going to be exciting.
It's going to be amazing. And so what do you take from this year's Solheim Cup that you want to kind of replicate or imprint on the next event?
I think we have to find the next version for the brand of foam fingers.
Yes.
The foam fingers were like a crazy hit. It was the brainchild of Sonia Balker, who heads up our affiliates team. And they were just gangbusters. They were everywhere. They were hotcakes. And it was brilliant because there was a red and a blue one, Europe and then US. And that was, Europe and US on one side. And then you flip it and it had a sky scanner on the other. So that was like, they were literally everywhere. So what does that mean for the Netherlands? And then how do we kind of spin that in a really interesting way? I think we did a great job on the event space itself. It was super welcoming. The fact that we had people who work at Skyscanner who are travelers themselves and, really warm, friendly, and have Scottish and English accents, welcoming people into the space, went over really, really well. They did a fantastic job. And then we had a photography booth there where you could get your picture taken with former captains. That was huge as well. So I try to replicate some of that. I'd love to double down on the content series again for 2026. And maybe instead of going down the path of meeting and getting to know the captains, is it maybe following some of the players and going a little bit more personal, a little bit more intimate, and telling really interesting stories there. We worked with some fantastic influencers who were just, they did an amazing job. And then, our PR media team, they're just always do a fantastic job. So lots of learnings, but lots of excitement, definitely.
Skyscanner is a really cool website. For those that don't know, you go there as just kind of a search engine for all of your travel needs. And then it kind of helps you focus on what your needs are. And that could also be one of the pieces that I love is it will help you figure out the cheapest time of the year, day of the week, time of the day to fly. It really helps, I think, when you're trying to plan things like I do, going out to this football event, going out to this baseball game, going out to this Super Bowl. It's really helpful.
It definitely is. And it's the main reason why I joined the company 3.5 years ago is the product is outstanding. It really is. Like our commercial partnerships and the work that the commercial team has done and the front end design, everything, like it just makes it easy, right? It takes the complexity, the anxiety out of booking travel if you're looking for a flight, hotel, or a car. And I think that's really driven by the traveler first mentality that the company's had since its inception. I know we've been around, a lot of people don't know, we've been around for 20 years, focused solely on making travel planning and saving time and money easy for people. So that traveler first mindset and that philosophy runs through every single thing that we do, to the point where we'll leave money off the table or we'll do things for free. The service is free, just if for the only reason that it's great for travelers, because we're travelers ourselves. So it's really good to be part of a company that has this mindset around like traveler first, partner second, Skyscanner third. We put ourselves last. And I think that's the hallmark of any really great company that you can, put your trust and time behind.
You double the audience from the last one. You have a big Team USA victory. Foam fingers were sold out within 30 seconds. It's going to be hard to top. It's going to be hard to duplicate this next time around at the Solheim Cup.
It will be, but I really look forward to the challenge and the opportunity. I think only good things can happen from here, not only with women's sport, as we've talked about generally, which we're super excited about. But coming back from a really nail biter, epic win for the U.S. on home soil in the U.S. In the nation's capital, back to the Netherlands, back to Europe. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see who the next captains are and what the teams look like and how we can elevate the work that we've done up till now for the brand, the business, and the Solheim Cup and women's sport.
It's going to be really exciting to watch. The Solheim Cup was a raging success this year. Dre, this was so much fun to catch up. Congratulations to you, the Skyscanner team, and everybody at the Solheim Cup for a wonderful event. And hopefully we'll connect again soon. Thanks so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute honor.